And then I'd like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examination. The statute limitation on the L6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. Does the defense have any objections? Nope. On Garma, he knew this was going to happen. Yep. Not from the very beginning. Maybe. Very well. Well, will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Here we go. All the witness state his name and profession. Miles Edgeworth, I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the courts. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That'll be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Yeah, let's go. That day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in an elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot and a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. Okay, well. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events. Same claim Mr. Yogi had made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yeah. Alright, I think I know what he's talking about. Let me just see this. Enter the elevator, different clues found in the scene. Defense attorney trapped in the elevator, returning from the lost trial of son. One bullet found in the heart. Murder weapon was fired twice, but he only heard one gunshot. So there's our fucking contradiction right there. While there, Mr. Yogi lost his composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. Picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted something to stop fighting. Oh, there was a single gunshot. Boom. Here we go. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I had the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. But that doesn't make sense. Look at this file once more. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us which page Again! Oh my goodness. Why do you keep telling me to do this? I don't remember. This one? Victim data? Yeah. Here, again, victim data. Look at the victim data in this file. Or data, whatever. It says it's quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired the second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice, however we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There's no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapons fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Yes. I think I will be able to show you proof. Impossible. Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Alright, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Do you have any evidence second firing to the pistol related to the incident? Let's see. One on him, one at the fucking window. There it is, 2. Look at this photograph. This photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see the victim lying there in Gregory Edgeworth. Proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots is fired, huh? Come on. There's no blood splatter by the window or anything. He wasn't standing over there. This one? That should be obvious. The contradiction is here. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol, yet there's also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Oh, order. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasy got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look at once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. What? What's over there? Elevator. There was auction completed at time while the incident. No clue was found on the scene. What about it? The case summary, but that's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found in the scene. What about the bullet we have? If the pistol was indeed fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. Ah shit, he did have a point. The second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one shot fired by his own son. And the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made the bullet hole in the door. How? No. I don't agree with that. Hold on. Let's look at the case once more. Elevator and oxygen depleted at the time. No clues found on the scene. Defendant attorney trapped in the elevator returning from a lost trial with his son Miles. 1 bullet found in the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. Corbia left trapped. Oh my god, dude. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us clearly. The murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that police merely overlooked the second bullets. And so all we have is a single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defendant's claim. Come on! I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. Fuck off. Taken from Gregory Edgeworth's heart, still bears clear ballistic markings. What do I have? There's gotta be something. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? No, it has to exist. Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick, if the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No, but you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just when I saw the photograph I thought the 2 shots had been fired. It definitely did. I was so certain of it, I thought it won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. Case file has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. There's gotta be something. Seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only one bullet was found at the scene of the crime. One shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely, I'd like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No, I do not. Ah, so you killed your father, though that was not your intention. Yes, I did. No, he's confessing. Very well. The statute of limitation of the murder for Gregor Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce the verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now, indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in courts. There are so many things I know I should be saying. My mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright. Yeah, sure. Yes, Your Honor. I object. I don't got anything really. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Oof. Nick, I don't know. And the case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet. What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist. Where? Someone took it. Seems the waiting is not going to produce us any answer, Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it exists. What? We just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer. Then tell us just who is this murderer. I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullets. Why would he? First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? It didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time looking for the stray bullets? I've got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Murderer has no reason to take the bullet. You don't have to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. The murderer. What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Okay. I think I got an idea. Yes, Your Honor. I had no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But the murderer had to take the bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? Well, for instance what? Maybe the bullet hit the murderer. The bullet hit the murderer. I'm just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have taken it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a sec. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. So at the time of the murderer himself was shot. And he left with the second bullet still inside, thus leaving one of the bullets at the scene of the crime. Yeah, that's how it would work, yes. So Miles shot someone, and that wasn't his dad that was screaming, right? There's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yoga, were both unharmed. That would mean the murderer came from outside, yeah. We're just assuming things at this point. These are just baseless assumptions. Two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. Pistol discharges into the bullet. The bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Oh my god. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. We already know that Von Karma is the murderer, right? It's pretty obvious, right? Well, that's why he's clutching his arm every time he's in his like pose where he's like his eyes are closed. It's cause, oh my god, it's still in there. It's still in there after 15 years. It hasn't like fucking wheeled its way out. It's still stuck in his fucking arm. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it, deny it. No one involved in the incident was wounded. There was no murder. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of any... Hey Nick. I just thought of something really crazy. Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record, and that's his motive right there. That's why he would want to kill him. It's not a very good motive, I'll be honest. I wouldn't kill someone over that. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. He was getting over the fucking bullet wound. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecution. That's why he took the fucking vacation. He was shot. Oh my god, what if Von Karma didn't take the vacation because of a shock, but he took it because he was injured? Which would mean, it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. He is Von Karma. Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Uh-oh. Should he come out and say it now? I think we should say it now. Your Honor. Oh. There is a suspect, one lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who's your suspect? My hands are shaking. V what? Von Karma. You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? Sitting right there? Bah. You don't object? I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident, and you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? You're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incidents. Fascinating. Prove it. I have needed surgery now. Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that have operated on me. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. We have no use to, we have no time for that. I know Von Karma perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. I'd leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Dude, we have a metal detector. We're gonna put it up to his arm. It's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out yourself. He left it in. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere. But where? In his arm still. Or the shoulder, his right shoulder. We're gonna show evidence. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? Evidence that proves Von Karma's shot is a fucking metal detector. Von Karma is perfect. He would never risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where's that bullet now? I think it's unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean? I do. There is the possibility the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Oh my goodness. Is that even possible for all these years? There's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Von Karma. I'm gonna run this over you and see what we find. Ooh. I refuse. How has he ever gone like on a plane before or anything that involves a metal detector? You refuse, but refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. I like to see that. Order. Your Honor, the defense requesting that we allow to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of the trial. This is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitation runs out in this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Get him in the fucking jail already. I permit to the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. I'm gonna hear it. Dig it out. Just dig it out right now. Something inside his right shoulder. The bullets. Mr. Von Karma? You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. Bullshit. Let's fucking reel it out right now and look at the fucking case. The fucking... What is it? What are they called? The ballistic markings. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove. I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove somewhere here, Mr. Wright, not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder is from DL6? You don't have any evidence. I do. We do. Maya, this is your time to shine. You got us this evidence, this decisive evidence. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crimes. Sorry, Mr. Wright.